So you may have seen from our previous videos, we are far from vanilla in our transformation.
And this one, the living room, is full of personality. Shall we get into it?
Let's get into it. So, here we are, our living room. It's where they say most of the living is done, living your best life, but in a space that at the moment is far from livable.
More like the dead room. We are going to transform this room as we have done with our kitchen, bedrooms and gym into the mid-century modern space of our dreams.
So it's time to get our DIY game on. So this is your granddad's drill. Just a bit, yeah.
Can't really look that old, John.
Sure. So like all the rooms in this house, the living room was no exception in that we had to rid this room of its ancient wallpaper and old carpets. And this fireplace had to come out as it was slap bang in the middle of where we had planned to build something epic even before we'd bought the place. But all this seemed like a lifetime ago. It's like over a year in fact.
A year?
That's right, we have lived in this lounge with exposed floorboards and many temporary setups for over a year. And when rooms like the kitchen look like this, it certainly tested us.
When we first set eyes on this property and stepped foot in the living room for the first time, we knew we had to take advantage of this view. But with only a window and no access to the garden, we just knew we had to get some more light in somehow.
But before we could even think about doing this, we had to address the elephant in the room. No, not that elephant, the bouncy floors.
Oh, such a good time!
You can see this in more detail in our house tour as to how we tackle this. So with the floor sorted, what better way to take advantage of that view than to get in some doors. So we have the windows and wall below out and...
I can't believe they're not Crittle. That's right, gorgeous black UPVC French doors complete with side lights, costing us 2.7k including fitting. And for some scale, with John at 6 foot stood next to them, you can see the height of these beauties.
And this would tie in beautifully with what's to come in terms of the design of the space as a whole. And we are definitely not holding back when it comes to the plans of the interior design of this room.
He's not wrong there. When do we ever hold back? So for this room, we're going cosy, 70s, bold, with a splash of orange. So here's a little preview of our initial ideas on a mood board, gallery walls, repurposing our gorgeous leather sofa and coffee table, or with our nod to our forever love, a mid-century 70s vibe. We love a bit of Mad Men, so we're taking inspiration for Don Draper's apartment too.
Make it simple but significant.
Don't get carried away, it's not a bachelor pad, but we'll all centre around this.
An epic shelving unit come TV and media centre come bench seat. You can see in way more detail here on how we built this from scratch, including how we tackled the incredibly bouncy floors underneath. But right now, we need to get this piece of a structure plastered.
Who's he coming?
Who?
The plasterer.
You looking at him?
You!
Us! Morning guys, so this morning we're going to try something we've never tried before. We're going to start plastering this unit behind me. Wish us luck.
We got this.
Yeah. I'm honestly a little bit nervous. Never plastered this before.
Everybody says it's really hard.
Yeah.
But you know what? If we mess it up, we can always call the plasterers in.
Exactly. So I'll be honest with you, I think when we started, actually, I don't know about you more, but I felt like it was a little bit easier than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I think the main thing is to just take your time, keep all your tools wet, and just make sure that you get that first coat really thick, a good covering, because your second coat is all about smoothing it out and getting that glass-like finish.
Yeah, and I don't think the time lapse does justice, but quite a lot of it did end up on the floor, but I think that's expected for a first time, don't you, Mum?
Learning curve.
Exactly. And if there's anything you want to ask us or anything we haven't covered, please hit us up in the comments. Please like and subscribe. So with this feature unit, I'm thinking something muted, blend into the background?
Absolutely not. We're going bold, we're going orange.
Clients don't understand. Their success is related to standing out, not fitting in.
More specifically, we're going for Little Greene Heat. It's a really nice sort of burnt orange, slightly tingling towards the red colours. So it's going to add a load of warmth and a big statement to this room, which I'm super excited about. And then we'll do like a gallery wall behind here, so that'll blend the telly and all knickknacks that go along this wall into the background. We're going to paint absolutely everything of this unit. This wall's going to be the travertine colour, but the unit's going to be all orange. It's shelves included, seat included, this little cutout included. It's all going to be that. So to bring the orange across the room, we're also going to paint 2 big orange squares on these walls in the same colour, and they're going to be the perfect backdrop to these.
So first off, we've got this. This is the Snail by Henry Matisse. You might remember it in art class. I certainly do. We went with this because of the colours that pull out the orange in the room. We've also got 4 of our favourite records that we framed from our previous house. These are going on the other orange square where the record player is. Good morning, everyone. We are going to finish plastering this today.
Woo!
Cue time lapse. So we just finished our second day of plastering. It's our first time, to be honest with you. I don't know about you, Mo, but I don't think it was quite as hard as I thought it was going to be. Now obviously it's not going to be a perfect finish like a professional plasterers would. No, I'm pretty happy with how it's going, so anyone who wants to have a go on for the first time, do it. I'd say you can save a lot of money. A new day at the Jolly Reno, and we decided to kick things off early by tackling the last bits of the prep work. So just to give our plaster work a quick sand down on the media wall, and we're just going to do our mist coat, which is, I believe, 50% water, 50% white emulsion, and that's going to hopefully seal it so that when we come to paint it, it doesn't suck it up like a sponge. So it was a case of getting all the old raw plugs out of the walls using a hammer and a screw. Using some manly brute force to get off the old skirting boards. Ignore the tan lines.
Should we not be wearing ear defenders?
Nothing to, yeah. And screwing up the old plasterboard ceiling to the joist where it is sagged and refilling.
Right, John?
Yeah.
Pretty much prepped, so what would you rather do now? Sand the ceiling?
Nope.
Or bin the radiators?
So we have just finished prepping the room. Both knackered, aren't we?
Powering through.
Yeah. Hopefully get some paint on the walls tomorrow. So with the last bits of prep work done, we decided to step out of the DIY for a few hours and take a trip to Pool Bank in hunt of a mid-century sideboard.
Oh yeah, something like that would be ideal.
Not at that price it ain't, not made of money.
Well, I'm excited to see what we bring back.
John, has the van got any aircon?
Yeah. And not a second had passed since getting back home, Molly had started applying the paint to the walls. So whilst I've got you, Mol, do you want to explain the colour for the walls and the ceiling?
Of course, so this is the colour.
Yeah.
It's called Travertine because, as you can see, it's quite a Travertine stony colour.
Yeah, nice.
Obviously quite a bit darker than white, so it's going to make it feel a lot cosier, and it's kind of got those orangey undertones, so it's going to go really nice with the heat colour, and it's going to add a lot of warmth to the room, hopefully.
There's nothing more satisfying than watching somebody else paint, is there?
Yeah, you just sat on your ass.
Yeah.
Well, not in this case, because we did it all.
What do we reckon then?
Yeah, I think I'm liking it. Again, it's like the paint we used for the kitchen. It sort of changed the colour every light scenario, but
I'm loving it.
now, if you remember from the mood board, we will be repurposing the sofa and coffee table, which went great in our lounge from our first home. You can also see from our downstairs loo our explosion of picture frames, which we will be replicating, albeit somewhat more refined, in the living room, as the main backdrop to the media wall. Now, seeing as the rug from our old living room is now in the guest bedroom, it was back on the road and out to the Great Yorkshire Flea Market in hope that we could find just the perfect rug to lay on our new floor.
Oh, wait a second. What new floor?
Oh yeah, nearly forgot. We best stop off on the way. I don't think you'll find the floor there.
Just grabbing some bits while we're here. Ooh, which did we go for?
We went with the same engineered wood floor that we fitted in our kitchen. It will help with the flow of the downstairs, it's practical in terms of easy cleaning, essential with a dog, and with my trade discount of 10%, it's a win-win.
Right, let's get this back, then we can fly off to the flea.
Now that we have our floor in the room we're going to be laying, you have to leave it in that room 3 to 4 days before installing it. This is to let it acclimatise. The last thing you want to do is lay it and just put it in and it all moves. We will be fitting this on the weekend. It's now the middle of the week. Perfect timing.
Great, plenty of time to find that rug. So off to the Great Yorkshire Flea Market we go.
Come on then, show us what we got.
Actually got one. Can't believe it. What a flea market find. And it's a great size for this quite large living room too.
And from Pull Bank Vintage.
I mean, we got one. It's gorgeous teak mid-century unit. We're getting set up with some records, record player, and it's perfect for all the storage. So, win-win.
So guys, are you ready? It's an explosion of orange.
Here it comes.
So we've got the colours on the walls. Really happy with that. It looks absolutely perfect. Be honest with you, I'm a little bit worried. The colour, the orange on the media wall.
Oh, come on, where have we heard this before?
So I'll be honest with you, I am a little bit worried that the whole bedroom is going to be pink. I've just been in the chocolate room. It does feel very dark in there. I wholeheartedly trust Molly, obviously, but I'm a little bit worried.
Okay, fair point. So with the last bit of paint applied in all 3 coats, it's really stark to see now that this space here is rather large, and might I say, rather daunting to fill.
Very excited today because the day has finally come when we could get a lot of the pictures on the walls in the living room that have been in boxes for probably the best part of a year and a half.
We used quite a few prints that we previously had in our downstairs loo, gave them a good clean and wipe down, and arranged them how we desired.
Then we had ideas above our station when it came to the corner of the room.
I think this is my favourite.
Yeah, it's really nice, but to do that area, that's going to be over 400 quid.
So, if we did it in individual bits,
Yeah.
basically moulding, innit?
Yeah.
So we need like 50 odd. Bit cheaper, 371.25.
Right. That's same material.
Wow, what is it? This is like MDF or something.
No, it's got to be like proper wood on show, hasn't it? So it's got to be like oak or something.
I'm searching oak, found that.
Yeah.
55 lens.
How much?
£649.55.
That's what I mean, and then we'll have to glue all that together. Those panels are actually, like, it's expensive because it's proper oak, but...
Yeah, fuck it, not doing it.
Hold that thought, because the pressure's on as we need to get the floor down before we go on holiday.
So, exciting day, guys. It's time to lay our new floor. As we said before, we're going on the same floor that we use in the kitchen. Kitchen took about a couple of days, day and a half. What do you reckon, Mole? Half a day? Experienced floor layers?
Yeah.
So it was down with the underlay. This had self-adhesive tape so you could attach each row together, and it just was a case of scoring and snapping at the edges. We then started laying our tongue and groove from one side of the room, not forgetting the all-important 8 to 10mm expansion gap.
So getting on well with our floor, we've got the advantage because we did the kitchen floor. When we first did it, you get your first few rows in and you sort of start freaking out a little bit because it all starts moving. We do know now that once you get to maybe halfway point, a little bit further, the rest of the boards hold it in and it stops moving, so just persist with it if you're going to do it yourself. So it's lunchtime, we have nowhere to sit, but the sofa outside.
Just like an episode of Friends. Now, this is the perfect point to mention here that the reality of living in a house you are renovating at the same time is not for the faint-hearted. Scenes like these are day-to-day life, and even when we get a room finished, it's not long until it's making way for the belongings of another room. Everyone's got a Monica's closet, but ours is bedroom number 3. But we knew what we signed up for. So sometimes you just got to get outside, take a chair and sleep with your frisbee.
Recharged and ready to go, it wasn't long till the new floor was in. What we're doing here then, John?
So I'm just marking around this picture because we're going to frame it with an orange square. So we need to mark where it is so we can get our square nice and even around the space. If you're paying attention at art school in the UK, you might remember this.
The snail.
Snail, because I was one of those people at school going, how was that a snail? I could have done that. Now I'm only hanging it in my own bloody living room, aren't I?
Hey, modern art, John. Don't knock it.
So it's a Sunday, we're both knackered, even Hetty. But the floor is done. Tell you what, are you pleased, Mom? Because I'm pretty pleased.
It looks quite smart, doesn't it?
Yeah, get that sofa back inside.
Woo!
A new day, sofa back inside, it's time for the finishing touches.
We did it! Yeah!
So after a year of a living room lacking in both light and life,
We now have a statement, Mad Men inspired room with plenty of personality.
now I know we haven't got skirting boards and curtains and blinds and different sort of things, but wow, and this is exactly what I wanted. I'm sure it's what Molly wanted.
I just absolutely love it. It's like the image that I had in my head we've actually managed to pull off, and it's loads of personality, got all our favourite bits and pieces out. I absolutely love a gallery wall, but yeah, it still feels really cosy despite it being quite a big space and a lot of doors and windows, so I just want to chill out and relax in here. I love it.
Absolutely love it. And yeah, you won me over on that colour.